Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today something quite simple, I would say. For the pattern, as you can see, I have it here in front of me. All my pattern pieces are already cut out. I'm going to make two blouses today, or tops, whatever you want to call it. Again, as per usual, heavily inspired by Pinterest. So if you need some inspiration, this is definitely a place to go. As for these two patterns here, they are pretty much coming from the same base, and it is the pattern that I created for my most popular video. If you haven't watched it, here you can go and check it out, but probably most of you found my channel thanks to this video. So as you remember, I just simply found a top in my closet, quite loose, not tight at all, didn't have any darts whatsoever, very simple. And today I used it again because I thought it would be a perfect start for what I want to create. Trust me, a couple of adjustments of a basic pattern can do a lot.
This is where I start all of my projects, my sketchbook. I use it to draw individual designs, plan which fabrics I will use, note all important details that I must keep in mind, because designing garment also means to figure out the way things are constructed, placement of necessary zippers, buttons and such. Going through this process is a guarantee for success. So let me just quickly show you how I adjusted this simple pattern to get the design that I want. So as I said, this is just a copy of my ready-to-wear top. Sleeves are from my wedding dress video, and I will use the same one for both shirts. Now, I will let you watch this in peace because it is as simple as I'm showing you here. Just remember that whenever you make adjustments, double check all seams that will be sewn together have the same length, and of course, don't forget to add seam allowance everywhere.
I think I want to start with this top because there will be no buttonholes. There will be buttons, but there will be no buttonholes. You will see at the end. As per usual, I think I'm going to start with assembling all the color pieces together. And by the way guys, if you missed your chance on my last video to ask me any question, then go ahead and put it in the comment section. If you already did, thank you so much. There are a couple of very interesting questions, thanks to all of you who asked me. And if you didn't, now is your chance again, and I will answer all of them in one video, of course. Basically, I'm going to take a front, and exactly in the center, I'm just going to place this. Where is it? So basically I cut it a simple rectangle as long as front bodice, and I just folded the edges inside like so. from each side, and of course I apply fusible interfacing just to make it stronger. I'm going to place it in the middle of the bodice and sew it from each side, and then sew the buttons. Basically the neckline is so wide that your head will go through very easily, so there is no need for buttons or zippers, anything like that, and I thought I will still have the same look, but I will save myself a lot of headache. Little bit of cheating. I hope you don't mind. This is how it looks like, and then at the end I will go and sew the buttons on. Now I'm thinking, since I have collar ready, but I cannot sew it on until I have the full bodice, so the best thing will be to go and sew the front and the back bodice with the shoulder and the side seams. Now, because this fabric is quite flimsy, I think it's a perfect moment to take out my invention, my handmade extension table. So, I know some of you asked me about this table before, and indeed I made it myself. It's just a simple MDF. Was not really difficult, I have to say. So this will help me in order that my fabric is not pulled down too much and it will not be misshaped when I sew it. Highly recommend.
You will find your way. In the meantime, may the sun bless you with its rays. It's how we learn. It has to hurt.
The same thing for the sleeve, guys. So let's give it a straight stitch.
Don't beg your pardon. You're not someone.
So guys, it's the next day. Yesterday I finished sewing the main bodice and the sleeves, and that's where I basically stopped. And now, before I can continue further, I have to go ahead and overlock all the edges of the sleeves and the bodice, and then basically I will go ahead and attach the collar and the facing, which is here. As you can see, I also overlocked the edges already. Let me quickly overlock the seams and I will come back to you after.
Top of them. Oh, don't mind the fall. Break down.
So now we are moving on to sleeve, and as you can see, actually both of them have this thin cuff, which I'm going to make now, but as I said, both of my designs will have long sleeves. Right sides facing, and sew this seam.
Don't beg your pardon.
And the
You're
second
not
one.
someone's victim. It has to hurt.
Now this is my sleeve, and the next step is to sew 2 rows of basting stitch on the top of the sleeve and on the bottom, in order that I can gather the fabric and fit it in the cuff at the bottom, and then place it in an armhole of the bodice, of course. By the way, this is the step that will be exactly the same on the other blouse, so I will probably not show you again. Anyway, it's really nothing new on this channel, so you have already seen it many times. At this point, I usually finish this with the hand stitching. So this is my collar, very simple. I think what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to baste it first. So here in front, you want to be really careful that you do it precisely, because it's going to be in front and you really want it to look nice and polished. So just take your time.
When lights go out,
I will just go and immediately sew also the facing on. I think it will be easier done in one step. So I think I should place it like so, right sides facing, and this time I will just pin it in place. I think it will be enough. Actually, I think at this point would be better to remove this table. So quickly.
When the stars are aligned, we will dance in the meadow on our favorite place. When spring is coming.
Okay, so let's continue with the second top. The yoke first. I have 2 layers. So first, shoulder seams. This is done. The next step will be to take the front pieces. We have this edge that will be in the center where all the buttonholes and buttons will go. So we need to go and sew the straight line on the both pieces. This is done. I think I should give it a quick press after. At the back piece there will be a little pleat. I need to find these notches, match them together with the fabric right side facing, and then I will sew approximately 2 centimeters down this line. So you see, this is how it looks like. I will make it flat like so and secure it with a straight stitch here on the top. The next thing that I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to go back to these front pieces, and I have again 2 notches here on the top, and this is an indication for me where I'm supposed to gather the fabric. So I will go ahead, give it the 2 basting stitches as usual, and gather this fabric as much as needed in order that it will fit in the yoke.
Why is it so?
2. Oh, and by the way, what I'm wearing right now, this blue sweatshirt, this is also something that I made by just simply copying the clothes that I have at home. So it was really easy to copy and even easier to sew. Highly recommend. If you haven't watched my videos about my best advice for beginners, then go ahead, check it out, because it's packed with very practical advice and also mistakes that you should avoid. So if you haven't watched it, go ahead and check it out. So basically what we will do after, now we have these 2 layers attached to this front piece, and the next thing will be that we just simply roll it like this, the front piece, like so, and then we will flip this here. We will pin all these edges and sew it here, and then when we turn it right side out, it will be all nice and clean with no visible seams outside and even inside.
Don't have us, at least not anymore. You said you had to go away just to figure out who you are, and I'm in this empty house with your pictures on my wall, but I don't have you, I don't have us, at least not anymore. Now I'm just waiting for love, waiting for love. Try to forget about you makes me restless.
So this is what I have so far. Looks like something. Definitely it's missing the back. The next step will be to sew the back piece on this yoke and then basically sew the side seams. Looks promising, we will see. So now let's take a back piece and let's place it right sides facing. But I'm sewing only a shell part of the yoke. The inner part, we'll just keep it hanging for now. So you can see from this side is sewn together. Now if I turn it wrong side out, I have to go and press the seam allowance upwards, and then I will bring this inner part of the yoke, place it over and stitch in a ditch.
Try to forget about you makes me restless. Waiting for love, waiting for love.
It's looking good, I think. For the sleeves, as I said, it's the same thing. So, surprise, I have already made them. So let's just go ahead and sew them in. And then, of course, buttons, buttonholes and hemming, and it will be done. So I guess I will see you in a couple of minutes with the finished garments.
I don't know what it means, but there's a smile upon your face, and I see something shimmering in your eyes. And they say if you wanna glimpse the future, you need space. And you said you'll put down your morning gowns. Would you follow me to wonders? Take my hand and walk beside me in a world of thunder. Fear is an imposter. When you look at me this way, I find it hard to not give in.